today we're gonna build a project. The project is related to YouTube Video Summarizer. So what it basically does, it takes a YouTube video as a link, then extracts the video ID from it, then using a YouTube API, it downloads all the scripts and transcripts of the video, and then it passes to an AI model. AI model summarizes the whole transcript and provides a text and an audio file. Then we can use this data whatever way we want. So let's see how it goes. First, we need to install some modules for this project. The first module that we're going to install, its name is YouTube Transcript API. So what it basically does, it's a Python API that takes video ID as the input and returns video subtitle and transcripts. So we're going to use this in our project. So let's see how it goes. The second module that we're going to install, its name is Transformers. This module is designed by Hugging Face company. It provides various open source LLM models. You can train these models on your own data or use pre-trained models for your application or project development. If you want to use any other AI models like GPT or DaVinci, you need a subscription and download OpenAI module and then provide the API key, and then you can use. That's a more convenient way to do this. But for this project, I am using a BART model from Hugging Face. The third module that we're going to install, its name is Torch. It helps in neural network processing and GPU acceleration. For this project, we're going to use this. It has various machine learning functionalities that helps ML models to learn and process the data. The fourth module that we're going to install, its name is GTTS. It's Google Text to Speech. It takes text as an input and then converts the spoken text into .mp3 file and saves it in your system. You can use that audio file whatever way you want. The fifth module that we're going to install, its name is Play Sound. It's cross-platform Python module. Basically what it does, it takes path of an audio file and plays that file. There is nothing more than that. So we're going to use this in our project for playing the audio file that we get from GTTS module. The sixth and the last module that we're going to install, its name is Piston. It's cross-platform Python library that helps in system monitoring. It gives information about the running processes on background, how much CPU they are using, how much memory they are using, and gives overall information about the resources utilization. These are list of all the modules that we're going to install. So we don't need to install all modules one by one. We can install all modules at a one go. First creates requirements.txt file and put all the name of modules and their version in front of it, and then goes to terminal and type pip3 install requirements.txt and then enter. Now all module will install in a one go. Now you don't have to install all modules manually, and it's done. This is the overall view of this project. We're gonna take a YouTube video URL in an input, then extract video ID from it, and these are all the variables that we're gonna need. We will discuss it in coding part. Then we will check, is there any file that exists that is related to this video ID? If yes, that means we don't need to go through this process. We can directly output audio and a text file without going to any processing. If no, it means we need to create these files. So first get the transcript of a video, then pass the transcript to generate summary function. It will generate the summary of a transcript, then write the transcript to the file, and then generate an audio file from this transcript and then output it. So we need some process when this is no. It means it's gonna do something when it's no. If yes, it means the file already exists. So we just need to output that. I think it's clear. This is the whole image. This is the file structure of a project. The project is defined into 3 sub-files. Each file has its own functionalities. First file name is YouTubeHandler.py. It handles all the API requests that we send to YouTube to get the transcript of a YouTube video using YouTube ID. And the second is mlmodel.py. It takes care of all the processing that we're gonna do for summarization and to text to speech and play the sound. And third is a file handler. It takes care of all the process that related to file handling, like to create directory, to create files, to upload file, to change the directory, like that. Main.py file import all these files. Main.py file is basically the entry point of a program. It uses all the functionalities that we defined earlier and then stitch them together, so we can use it for processing whatever the project requires. Whenever program will run, it will generate a sound file and a text file. Sound file will be stored in summary-voice directory and text file will be stored in summary-text directory. Name of file will be same as video ID name, so it will be easy to differentiate between each file because each video has its unique video ID, so we can use that to create files. And whenever our program will run and we'll see that this ID is already processed and generated its voice and text file, then we don't need to get in the process further. So we can use previous data that we stored in a voice and text file. We can directly process that and output that. Now I think we are clear about our file structure and code structure. How our code will gonna run, what will be its workflow, our file will be structured in the directory. And now we will move on the logic part. How our program's function will be defined, which logic they're gonna use, how will they process the data, how will they generate summary. So we will move on that part. This is main.py file. It is the entry point of a program. It imports all the sub-files that we defined earlier and imported all its functionalities, like YouTube handler file. It imported extract video ID. From YouTube handler file, it imported get transcript string. From ML model file, it imported generate summary. From ML model file, it imported text to speech and play sound functionality. And OS is a built-in modules, so we don't gonna talk about that. And the file handler file, and then it imported the functionalities like already exists, write summary, read summary. And all these functions has its own working. As we move further in the program, we will see all functionalities in a detail. Here we defined a function, its name is main. It takes YouTube video URL as an input, and then here we defined some variables. First variable name is sound path. This is the path where generated sound file will be stored. And then second variable name is text path. This is the path where generated text file will be stored. And the third variable is limit is equal to 30, that we will see what this will be used for. As we move further in this program, here we get at a fourth line and we are calling a function. Its name is extract video ID. Let's see how this function is implemented. Command and visit the here. This is the implementation of function. So this function takes URL as the input and then it uses regex to retrieve the ID from a URL. So it only gets the ID that we will use, and then it uses re.search, search the URL for any ID that found. If ID not found, it raises the error invalid YouTube URL. If ID is found, then it returns the ID. As I told earlier, the name of file will be on the basis of video ID. So each file will be unique. So the extracted video ID will be the name of the file. As we move further in this program, we get another functionality. Its name is already exists. It's look like it's getting some boolean type value from this function, and then it's moving to read summary and play sound. Let's see how this function is implemented. Command input. Here is the function already exists. It takes two parameters. First, the path of a folder. Second, the name of the file, and it returns none type. First, it checks if the given path exists. If it doesn't exist, then it creates that path and returns false. And in the case if the path exists, then it goes to the path and sees all the file and directories in the given path, then compare the file name with all the files present in the given path. If the file name already exists, it means return true. It means we don't need to go in a further process. Means true, we're gonna directly get that file. Let's understand what this part of code is doing. If extracted video ID, sound file and text file already exists, it means that we don't need to go in a further process. Directly output that text file and the sound file. So it will reduce the processing power. Let's see the implementation of read summary and play sound. It takes path of a text file. It takes a path of a audio file. Let's see its implementation. Read summary. It takes file path, opens the file path in a read mode, and then get all its content, and then print that content and return none. And let's see the implementation of play sound. So what this is doing, it's using a play sound module that we installed earlier. Here is the import statement for a play sound, and then we pass the path of audio file and it plays the sound and returns none. If file does not already exist, then we will go further in this code and we will reach this part. And here is another function implemented. Its name is get transcript string. As the name suggests, it returns the transcript of a video and the length of a video. So let's see how this function is implemented. This is the get transcript string functions implementation. It takes video ID as a parameter and then uses YouTube transcript API that we imported here to extract transcripts from video, and then it gets the last part of video and passes it to a function get video length, and get video length function calculates the duration of a video and it returns the time in minute. And then we get the text part from a dictionary and then return a tuple which contains the transcript and then duration of a video. And if there is any error occurs, it accepts the error as E and returns the error. So basically what this part of code does, it gets video ID as a parameter and then it extracts transcripts and the duration of video and return it and store it in these variables. Content variable stores the transcript and duration variable stores the duration of a video. As we move further in this code, we get to this code. What this code is doing, it says if duration is less than equal to limit, means if duration of video should be less than 30 minutes, then we will go to this part. And here we see another function. Its name is generate summary. It takes the transcript as an input and generates its summary. Let's see how this function is implemented. And here is a function and its name is generate summary. It takes 3 input as a parameter: text, aim of the project, its summarization, and name of the ML model that we're gonna use for summarization. And its name is Facebook/Bart large CNN. It is trained on CNN Daily Mails data, and it returns a string data type. And here we got another function and its name is split text. So what this function basically does, it takes a large text as the input and divides the text into sub chunks. Each chunk size is 4000. Every ML model has a token limit. For that problem, we divide a large text into small chunks for easy processing. Here is its implementation. It stores all the sub chunks into a list and then it returns that list. And here we defined another variable is its output chunks and its empty list. And if generated list is greater than 30, it means it's so large that our ML model will not process it, so we will generate a value error that input limit exceeded. If this is okay, then we go in this part, pipeline. We install a module named transformers. From there we get a pipeline. So from pipeline we can use Hugging Face models. So it takes 2 parameters, aim and the name of the AI model, and then it loops over all the generated chunks and pass each chunk in a model one by one and gets its summarization and stored in output chunk list. And then it moves further and checks that CPU limit. If the resources of our computer is limited, so if it uses 95% of our CPU, it means its process is so tedious for a computer, we will exit the program and return some message CPU limit exceeded. And if this is okay, then we will get all the output chunks and then convert it into a string and then return it. Now here is another function, its name is write summary. So it takes 3 input as a parameter: text path, text file, and summary. So what it basically does, it writes the summary in a text file. Let's see how this is implemented. Here is the implementation of function write summary. It takes 3 input as a parameter: folder path, file name, summary. So it makes a full path using folder path and file name, and then it opens this path in a write mode and then writes summary to this file. So whenever we need this file, we will get it from this path. We move further in this code. We see a print statement. It prints the generated summary, and then we see another function. Its name is text to speech. It takes 2 input as a parameter: summary and the path where your audio file will be stored. Let's see how this function is implemented. And here we can see its implementation. It's using GTTS module that we downloaded earlier, Google text to speech module. Here we imported it here, and it takes parameter. First parameter is text, generated summary, and then language which your voice file will be generated, and then save that generated voice file at a given path that we passed here, and then using a play sound module we will play that stored file and then return none. This is the implementation of text to speech function. This is the last part of this code. It takes URL as an input and pass this URL in main function. As the main function defined, it's do its further processing using these code. And I think explanation part is done. Let's see the demo part of this code. This is the YouTube video that we will gonna use for the demo part, and this is the video. Looks like. So we will copy the link of this video and pass it on our program, and let's see how it summarizes it.
Artificial intelligence or AI can answer your questions, predict your shopping habits, or even drive your car like a diligent student. AI functions through a complex network of algorithms and models, much like the neurons in your brain. Google Bard brings us one step closer to having a meaningful conversation with AI. While it hasn't officially replaced Google Assistant, it's a far more powerful AI.
As we run our first program, we can see that summary text directory and summary voice directory generated. We can see it contains an text file and it contains an audio file. So next time when you run this program and pass the same URL, then it will not process that. It will directly output this text file and this voice file. This is the another video that we're gonna use for testing our project. It's a second demo video. It's a video of Fireship, and let's copy the link of this video and let's test it.
A small group of YouTube users were surprised to get this message cutting them off for having an ad blocker enabled. YouTube generated $280 billion in revenue. That's a lot of money, but $224 billion of that is from advertisements. Of that 224, only $29 billion comes from YouTube. That's only 11% of advertising revenue. If you keep installing things like AdBlock plus AdGuard, Ghosty, uBlock, Origin, AdBlocker, Ultimate, or use privacy-focused browser like Brave, YouTube's going to go out of business and take all of its creators with it. YouTube could just ignore this issue and chalk it up to the cost of doing business on the internet. But instead they chose violence.